Yo, what's going on? Chavo Guerrero Jr. here, giving a big shout out to Wrestling Rehab. Keep watching, keep listening, and Viva la Raza.
Órale. Oh man. Oh man. So it was John Cena's final PLE. That is it. No more PLE slash pay-per-view for John Cena. Because John Cena was around when there were still pay-per-views. Now it's all PLEs, premium live events. And this was it for C Nation. It's all over. No more PLE. We'll get to Cena in a second. But first, let's go ahead and let's talk about Survivor Series War Game match by match. And I'm not going to go in order simply because I didn't like the way they went down the order. Now, the women's War Games match, that's fine that they started it with it. That's okay. I'm all right with that. Maybe they should have gone with the women's title match with Stephanie Vaquer versus Nikki Bella because nobody gave a rat's ass about that match. And maybe you could give people just a little extra time to get to their seats because I don't know anybody that cared about that match. And I'm not going to spend time on that match either. I'm just going to say this. It was a little better than I thought it was going to be, but understand this. My expectations and my interest for that match were very, very low. I really did not care about this match. And just watching it, I'm like, oh, okay. It was a little bit better than what I thought it was going to be, but my expectations were already on the floor. Stephanie Vaquer comes up with the win. I don't really know what that means moving forward for her. I guess you could say she beat Nikki Bella, a Hall of Famer, which is already ridiculous in itself. I've said it before. Nobody who is inducted in the Hall of Fame should be able to have a full-time career. If they want to come back for a Royal Rumble match or, just to help out like in a tag match with somebody else or something like that, sure, fine, why not? But to come back full-time, no, you're a Hall of Famer. How can you add to your accolades after you've been inducted into the Hall of Fame? That's why I thought it was ridiculous that Rey Mysterio is a full timer and in the Hall of Fame. And he got to the Hall of Fame, 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? I don't know. I was there. I remember. Which made me think like, oh, okay, this is it for Rey Mysterio. It's his last match is going to be at WrestleMania. Oh, no, he's still full-timing it. So I thought it was, I don't know what this really means for Stephanie Vaquer. She beats Nikki Bella. Okay, fine. Whatever. I don't know anybody who cares. Moving on, let's get to the women's War Games match. Okay. There was no shark cage, and I was completely unaware of this. I had no idea until the match actually started when Michael Cole went ahead and explained, oh, you know what, there's not going to be any shark cage. That's what kind of made it just a little bit interesting, a little bit more interesting, I should say, which added more to the drama that they were all in a shark cage and you're just kind of waiting to see who comes out. I'll get to that in a second. But the match itself. The match itself was okay. Having Charlotte and Asuka, I said this on the little fast recap. having both of them start off, and they're both the oldest, they're gonna have the endurance, right? I'm like, all right, not I mean not a bad choice, but their age is up there. Nonetheless, they go, they're doing their thing. I forgot him who came out next, anything like that. I doesn't even really matter because as the match was going on, or I should say, the match doesn't even start until the final competitor is in the ring. So all you can really do is just beat the crap out of each other. But nothing really actually like sparked my interest that much in this match or really put me at the edge of my seat until everybody was in the ring. Once everybody was in the ring, then it got a little bit better. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Now we can do some things here. And of course, everybody's just waiting for the Io Sky trash can spot, which I thought, not that it was botched, but good gosh, come on. Taking a long time. The heels are down there just standing around, just waiting, just like looking up. And Io Sky is still preparing herself. And it's like, okay, come on. What are we doing? You're just standing there, just looking up at her as she's as she's preparing still, just standing there. It's not really a good way to sell it. Now, this time she does a forward flip, right? She flips forward and she only hits 2, but yet 4 go down. Now, it is cool to see, don't get me wrong, it is cool to see her doing a forward flip with the trash can on. The only problem is you could clearly see that she makes 0 contact with the other 2, right? The only one that was not affected, finger quotes on this, affected by that spot is Becky Lynch because we're getting towards the end of the match. But apparently this move is supposed to wipe everybody out except for Becky Lynch. Problem is, it only hit 2. She only landed on 2 people, only made contact with 2 people. The other 2, well, they just got to play it off and just go down. Now the forward flip looks cool with the trash can on. But if you really want to sell it, you got to do like a cross body. That way, you make contact with all 4. But nonetheless, it was cool. It was fun to see. And in reality, that's the only thing that really just kind of stuck out to me in this match. And I think that's the only thing that everybody's waiting for. And if this is going to be something that goes on every single year, I don't know if it's going to be that effective. I think Io Sky is going to have to try something different because it's just not going to sell as well anymore. It's not really going to be as intriguing anymore if she's doing this every single Survivor Series War Games. But nonetheless, AJ Lee makes Becky Lynch tap out. Match is over. That was that. Like I said, there was really nothing that exciting. It was okay. It was somewhat entertaining. But it wasn't the greatest thing. And I'll get to like a full recap. Just let me go through these matches here. It was just a all right match. And that was the one that kicked off the show. So I'm like, okay, as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, well, listen, we still have a whole PLE to go, even though there's only 4 matches. We still have a whole PLE to go, so let's see what happens. So now let's get to Dirty Dom and John Cena. So in the pre-show, in my predictions, I had said that, look, I think if John Cena loses to Dirty Dom, he has to win his final match. And I'm predicting that's going to be Gunther. But I don't see John Cena going into his final match at Saturday night's main event as Intercontinental Champion. And sure enough, they're putting on somewhat of a match, I guess. John Cena didn't look great. Dirty Dom fakes an injury, right? Shoulder injury outside of the ring. Looks like he's going for a hurricanrana. Lands a little bit odd. I didn't think he landed that off, but I'm like, I wonder if he is injured, right? I don't see the cross going up, so I'm like, all right. I thought it was a little bit. I will talk about John Cena's final run on another one. Okay, I can do it here. But for John Cena to get beat up and put down by a couple of girls in his final run, in his second to last match, like, what is it that you're doing to John Cena here? I mean, you have Raquel Rodriguez. It's not like a female just goes in there and just kicks them in the balls. See, that I could get. That I'm like, okay, all right, straight dirty move. Oh, no. They actually have Raquel Rodriguez pick up John Cena. And I'm like, this, even Roxanne Perez. And I'm just thinking to myself, John, this is your final PLD. You are being manhandled by women. By women, John. What if you just said, look, have one of them kick me in the balls and have the other one just like scratch me in the eyes? Or have Roxanne Perez kick you in the balls and Raquel Rodriguez hit you with a chair or something. You let them actually manhandle you. It was, watching it, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? What in the flying flip are you doing? You're letting these women just manhandle you like this? Unbelievable. We find out that Dirty Dom is faking an injury, waits for the ladies to beat up and put hands on John Cena. Comes in, it's not good enough. John Cena is able to kick out. Referee understands that there was something going on behind his back as he was tending to Dirty Dom. Kicks both Roxanne and Raquel out of the arena. They gotta go back to the locker room. All right, later on in the match, here comes JD McDonough and Finn Balor. They intervene in the match. Still can't put John Cena away. Dirty Dom, that is. It is not until the return of Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan comes back. And I had said this. I had said, look, the best way for all this to go down if Dirty Dom starts some sort of love interest with Roxanne Perez. This would be great. It would be great. Because then you can have Liv Morgan come back and go after Dirty Dom and Roxanne Perez. But they got away from that. They got away from that a while back, because that's the way it looked. The storyline was going. It looked like we were going down that road, and I'm like, yes, this is good. There's a good storyline. I like it. Have Liv Morgan injured, not be around, and show that there's a little spark going on. There's a little something going on between Dirty Dom and Roxanne Perez behind Liv Morgan's back. They're getting a little too close, a little too playful with each other. And here comes Liv Morgan. That is, at least that's what I wanted. And it looked like they're going down that route. And they got away from that story. So now there's really no story of Liv Morgan coming back other than the fact that she's coming back. She gets in the ring. She goes after Dirty Dom. She throws, I think it's a left at him, or was it a right? I forgot, either one. And I saw the fact that I saw her miss. And I'm like, man, they botched that. Because she missed like a good country mile. I think she did a better job than Dennis Rodman, though, back in WCW. But I was like, whoa, she came up pretty short on that one. She never made contact with Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom goes down, stays down. She turns to John Cena like if she's in cahoots with John Cena, jumps in John Cena's arms. John Cena's confused. You see the psycho face from Liv Morgan. It's like, oh no, something's coming. And sure enough, it does. A kick to the balls. Dirty Dom does his thing, gets the frog splash. He wins 1, 2, 3. He gets the Intercontinental Championship back. Liv Morgan jumps into his arms. There you go. Now what happens with Judgment Day? I got no freaking idea because Liv Morgan wasn't down with Roxanne Perez. I thought they botched that whole storyline. They could have really done a good storyline with them, but they didn't. Moving on to the main event with the men's War Games match. To me, it was uneventful. It was uneventful. Of course, Brock Lesnar was the last one to come out for the heel team, and Roman Reigns was the last one to come out for the face team. I don't even remember in what order they came out, and I don't even really care. It was pretty uneventful. It was somewhat cool to a certain degree when Roman comes out and him and Brock are going at it outside of the War Games steel cage. They're not doing it in the right. Brock Lesnar comes out to meet Roman Reigns, puts him through a table. That was somewhat interesting. The match is taking place, and honestly, to me, I was just like, okay, sure, it's fine. It's decent. I don't want to say it was bad. It's just decent. It's a decent match. I'm like, okay, this is a PLE, man. This is Survivor Series. This is one of the big four Survivor Series, right? With the Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam. Now here we got Survivor Series. This is one of the big four, baby. Let's go. And since this was the main event, I'm still sitting down waiting to be blown away. I'm thinking, okay, this is the match that has to do it. And nothing really happened. Then you get some guy that's dressed all in black. We never get to see who it is. The rumors out there that people believe it's Austin Theory. This guy climbs the fence pretty damn fast. I mean, the agility on this guy. Gets in the ring pretty damn fast. CM Punk is on his knees looking at him like, what the F is going on? He lands a super kick on CM Punk, followed by the curb stomp. Yes, the Seth Rollins curb stomp. And then he exits the ring like Spider-Man. This dude is moving fast. Braun Breaker is the one to get the 1-2-3 on CM Punk. I did not think CM Punk was going to get was going to take the 1-2-3. By the way, not to mention Braun Breaker earlier in this match had a very scary moment landing on his neck. That was scary to watch. But you never get to see who this man in black is. Like I said, all the rumors are out there. Okay. You had the heels win. They go outside. They all hold hands. They all put their arms up, which is completely weird to see Brock Lesnar in a team like that. I don't know. For me, it really kind of ruins Brock Lesnar to a certain degree. He's not a team guy. And then you just have Roman Reigns fist pump CM Punk, and then he has some words with Cody Rhodes, and you think something's going to go down. And no, they just kind of have a few words, stare at each other, like, all right, catch you on the rebound, Punk. Show's over. And I'm sitting there like, wait, I sat here the entire time. Nothing in this show made me stand to my feet like, whoa, that was badass. Like, whoa, where did that come from? Holy smokes. Nothing. This is one of your big four. You only have 4 matches. Only 4 matches. Which means you got to have 4 bangers. At the very least 3. And you didn't really have anything. Look, I think the best thing that happened in this was Liv Morgan coming back. But even then, she came back to really no storyline. You could have built a really good storyline for her to come back to where it's just, oh, man. This is going to get really good. But there is no storyline that she's coming back to. You built no storyline for her at all to come back to. That's why I thought it was going to be really cool if she came back and Roxanne and Dirty Dawn were very friendly with each other. But you brought her back with no storyline. Now, they didn't have the shark cages in the War Games match. And Monday Night Raw is going to be starting in less than 5 minutes. So let me move this along. They didn't have the shark cages in the War Games matches. All right. They've done that before. I didn't even know they eliminated it till Michael Cole started talking about it. And I'm like, okay, so they're just going to have competitors come out like the Royal Rumble, right? You're going to have the whole countdown. But I thought some of the interesting stuff when it comes to War Games has to do with the shark cage. You know, they're all in there. Honestly, I don't think Brock Lesnar wanted to be in there. I just don't think he wanted to be just standing in there with his teammates. He's not a team guy. But I could be wrong. They got rid of it. And I thought some of the good stuff when it comes to War Games is just showing the camera over to the shark cages every now and then. Because so the way they did it now is basically, yes, like you're coming out for the Royal Rumble. The problem that I saw with this is that they play their music, you hit their music, they're coming out, but they're coming out like if they're about to have a one-on-one match. See, with the shark cage, they're standing there. They're pacing back and forth, right? Like a caged lion who's just hungry, wants blood, and as soon as the cage opens, they want to run out there and help out, their compadre. But the way it worked this time around is they come out to their music and they're doing their whole entrance. Meanwhile, your team member is getting the crap beat out of them in the ring, but you're over there doing your entrance with the music, showing off to the fans. It's like, hey, where's the urgency? That was the difference with the with the shark cage. You came out with urgency to get into the match to help your team. This time around, I didn't see anybody come out with urgency. Like, man, let me run. Let me run down there, man. My team members getting stomped on. They come out, take their time, do their whole entrance. I was just like, all right. Look, overall, I thought it was a dud. I did. I thought it was a dud, especially if for being Survivor Series and one of the big four. Look, in my opinion, War Games should be its own PLE. I don't think it should be part of Survivor Series. Look, they made Money in the Bank its own PLE. I'd rather see Money in the Bank go back into a WrestleMania match. I think War Games can be its own PLE. I'd rather see Survivor Series as elimination. Even what they're doing Once Upon a Time with the champions versus each other, that's not bad. You know, Raw versus SmackDown. That's not bad. But I'd just kind of like to go traditional, to go with team versus teams. And one gets eliminated one by one. I like that. Because this right here, this was a snoozer, man. This was a snoozer, a sleeper. Was it really that bad? No, it wasn't really that bad, but it wasn't great and it wasn't good. And this is Survivor Series. This is one of the big four, and you only had 4 matches, and none of them really were that entertaining. They were just okay. And when you got War Games, it's like, okay, War Games, they're supposed to be something huge. And in reality, to me, honestly, man, the War Game match itself, I'm not that big of a fan of. I'm not. It's all right, but I'm not that big of a fan of War Game matches. But I think War Game can have its own PLE if they want to continue with it. In my opinion, they should just left it at NXT. Gives you a reason to tune into NXT to see something different. They go ahead, they put it in Survivor Series. I just kind of want to see the old school Survivor Series elimination. All that being said, it is time for Monday Night Raw. So let's see what goes down on Monday Night Raw. But when it comes to Survivor Series, I'm not that big of a fan. Not this format. Not that big of a fan. But all right, man, you guys enjoy Monday Night Raw. Let's see what's up tonight. And I'll be with you guys throughout the week. Solo Trucker Wrestling Reaction, also the Junkies. Catch you guys on next one.